I'm going to take a guess that you don't know what this car is, and that's because it's a brand new car from a brand new brand that's also an old brand. It's the Polestar 1, and Polestar started out as a race team and then they turned into an in-house tuner for Volvo, and now they're Volvo and Geely's vision of a performance electric car company. And that makes this car something very special indeed. It's a hybrid, it's the first Polestar hybrid and probably the only Polestar hybrid. It's also incredibly limited edition, only 1,500 are going to be made. And under the skin, what looks like a fairly good-looking GT car is something very unique indeed.
It's the halo model of a broad range of EVs, though at its core it actually predates even Volvo's acquisition of Polestar. Back in 2013, the Swedish automaker revealed the Volvo concept Coupe, borrowing styling cues from the classic P1800 and acting as a showcase for what was then the brand new scalable product architecture. Volvo never made it, but Polestar will, and for that I'm thankful. The body is made of carbon fibre reinforced polymer, both to help save on weight and to allow super crisp body lines and that wafer-thin arching roofline. At the front, the wide, low grille is filled with a slightly concave array of polished metal studs. It's flanked by Thor's hammer LED headlamps, while at the rear the lighting is similarly minimalistic. The combination of exaggerated proportions and elegant lines prompt more than a few double takes on the road, and with only 1,500 expected to be produced over the next 3 years, it'll definitely be a rarity.
Now you could say this is a car of two halves, and that would be true. At the front you have a 2-litre inline-4 gas engine with a supercharger and a turbocharger, and that just drives the front wheels. And at the back, each wheel gets an electric motor of its own. And running down the middle, there's no crankshaft or anything, it's just a third of the overall battery. That's a 34 kilowatt hour pack. So it means that it can drive in various different modes. It'll drive as a hybrid using either electric power or electric power and gas power, or you can put it into a performance mode and it will use all of the power available. And that's a reasonable amount. You're talking 738 pounds per foot of torque altogether, 619 horsepower, and it'll do 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat.
From behind the wheel, the Polestar 1 masks the seams between its two power sources well. There's a smooth blend between gas and electric power, though even with the lightweight bodywork in place, it's a heavy car. At over £5,000, there's no hiding the heft Polestar's engineers have had to work around. It means it's no backroad racer. Faced with twisting backroads, the Polestar 1 feels agile, but there's a disconnect that takes some getting used to. It's the feeling that you're going to understeer as you push hard, or kick out if you add to the accelerator mid-corner, even though the car's careful setup of mechanical and electronic trickery keeps you on the asphalt. Torque vectoring is part of that, Polestar's ability to individually control the power going to each rear wheel. In tight corners, it can push more torque to the outer wheel to avoid understeer. Just when you start to think you're perilously close to the limit, the Polestar's systems wade in to keep you on track. Really though, this is a grand tourer, very much at home on sweeping corners and extended drives. US range for the 34 kWh battery hasn't been finalised yet, but in Europe the Polestar 1 is rated for around 70 miles of purely electric driving, or around 540 miles in hybrid mode. For that, it seems eminently suited. The default suspension settings, which can be manually tweaked, though I suspect few will, providing a reassuring balance between touring comfort and sportier stiffness.
If you've been inside a recent Volvo, then the interior of the Polestar 1 is not going to come as a huge surprise. It's a very clean, Scandinavianly minimalistic place, much like the exterior of the car. All the toys come as standard, as well as this real carbon fibre reinforced plastic, just to remind you what the main body of the car is made from. Now, Polestar calls this a 2+2, which means that while those in the front get plenty of space and these very supportive seats, those in the back, well, if they want legroom, they should probably go to a different dealership.
If I have a complaint, it's that the Volvo roots are so obvious that it can dilute that sense of specialness the Polestar 1 should deliver. Volvo's switchgear and trim is nice enough, but if I'm driving a $155,000 coupe, I don't think it's unfair to want it to feel unique. Ironically, the most charming interior feature is saved for the trunk. That's where the high-voltage power connectors are visible through a plexiglass panel, their bright orange cabling intended to be a reminder of the battery's presence, not to mention the reason you only get 4.41 cubic feet of cargo space.
Now, the Polestar 1 is never going to be a mass-market car or a volume seller. Polestar can only make up to 500 of them a year, and after 1,500, that's it, they're just stopping altogether. And at $155,000, that's a lot of money for a brand new car company and a brand new car, and a hybrid at that. What I can tell you is that the Polestar 1 is a very intriguing car indeed. I'm not entirely sure that this hybrid drivetrain is the future of electrification, but it does set Polestar up as a company for its upcoming, more affordable, mass-market electric cars. And that's something that the market needs, and that's something that the market's ready for. And I think that it's about time that Polestar came out of the tuner shadows and took some of the limelight.